Chapter 2, Lesson 4, Operations with Integers. So when working with integers, we're always going to follow order of operations. So whenever you have any of these things present, you're going to follow the same order. Typically, it's abbreviated as PEMDAS. A lot of people use "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally" to help them remember the order. But first, we're always going to do anything that's in parentheses first. Sorry about that. Anything that's in parentheses first, then exponents, and then multiplication. So you go from left, multiplication or division. You go from left or right, or left to right. So if a division sign is before multiplication, you can do the division before the multiplication. And same with addition or subtraction. Go from left to right. If there's subtraction before addition in the problem, you do the subtraction first. So there's some practice here. -5 minus 30 divided by 15 minus 15. Let me read that again. -5 minus 30 divided by 5 minus 15. So following order of operations, we're going to be doing this division problem first. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. So that's where this 6 comes from. So now you have -5 minus 6 minus 15. And we follow these rules and change those subtraction signs to addition. That +6 became a -6. Same thing. Subtraction sign changed to addition. +15 changed to a -15. Here, I have all negative numbers. So I'm just going to add them all together. -5 plus 15 is 20. And I'm keeping a negative sign. -20 plus -6 is -26. All right, here in letter B, we have some parentheses involved. Parentheses, again, tells us we're going to do anything inside of those first. So -4 plus, in parentheses, 8 minus 10 times -5. Now, I don't want you to get confused with these parentheses. That's just separating that negative sign. When there's no operation inside the parentheses, you can't do anything first. So we're going to do what's inside this set of parentheses first here. 8 minus 10. 8 minus 10 is a -2. So now we have -4 plus -2 times -5. Multiplication comes before addition. So -2 times -5 is where this +10 comes from. And then -4 plus 10 is 6. All right, just some more practice here. 20 plus 6 minus 2 times 4. So in this case, we're going to multiply first. Multiplying comes before addition or subtraction. So 2 times 4 is 8. So now I have 20 plus 6 minus 8. I'm going to combine these here. 20 plus 6 is 26. And then I'm changing this to addition, making this a -8. -8, not 18, Miss Rico. -8. So 26 plus a -8 is just like subtracting 26 minus 8. So that would be 14. Number 2, -15 minus 25 divided by 8 minus 12. I have to do within these parentheses first. Remember, this would become -15 plus a -25. So that makes it -40. Now I have -40 divided by 8 minus 12. Division comes before subtraction. So -40 divided by 8 is a -5. -5 minus 12 would turn into -5 plus -12, which is -17. Number 3, -11 minus 5 plus 2 in parentheses plus 3. So I always do parentheses first. 5 plus 2 is 7. So this becomes -11 plus a -7 minus 3. Negative 11 plus a negative 7 is a negative 18. Negative 18 plus 3, in case you forgot, we do the absolute value of both. And subtract 18 minus 3 equals 15. Because my negative was larger, it will be a negative 15. Okay, so you're using everything that you've learned so far in this chapter and applying it. So please don't forget the rules for adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing and dealing with negative numbers. All right, number 4, negative 7 minus 28 divided by 4 minus 13. First, I'm going to deal with this division sign here. So 28 divided by 4 is 7. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 7 minus 7 minus 13. All right, so I'm going to turn these into addition problems. Negative 7 plus a negative 7 plus a negative 13. Because they're all negative, I'm just going to add them. So negative 7 plus negative 7 is negative 14, plus negative 13 is a negative 27. All right, number 5, 6 minus 9. I'm going to do that first. That is a negative 3. I'm using a number line kind of in my head. I'm picturing it. Otherwise, you could do the absolute value method. So now I'm going to do this multiplication. Negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. So I have negative 3 plus 12. So that's where I use that absolute value. The absolute value of negative 3 equals 3. Absolute value of 12 is 12. 12 minus 3 equals 9. And my answer is going to stay a positive 9 because my 12, which is larger than 3, was positive. So now I'd like you to try number 6 and 7 on your own. Come back and check your answers and work against mine. And if you're confused, write down a question so you can ask me in class. So now we're going to do some practice with a real life example. So we have a rectangular piece of paper measuring 17 inches by 13 inches. So as you see, that's this whole area here, 17 by 13 inches. And it has 4 of the corners cut off, shown in the diagram. So the corners are 3 inches by 3 inches that are cut off. And they want to know what's the remaining area. So they show you here that they calculated the area of the corner cut off. So they're just using order of operations here. First, they found the area of what the paper would have been. 17 times 13 is how they'd find the area without the corners cut off. And then they're subtracting the area of one of the squares times 4, since there's 4 of them. So they used order of operations and did parentheses. 4 times 9 is 36. Sorry, I keep moving forward. And then 17 times 13 is 221. So 221 is 185 inches squared. Now we can practice using a real world example. A canteen operator paid $60 for 100 sandwiches, and he sold 2/5 of them at $1 each, and the rest at 3 for $2. What is his profit? Sounds like a very complicated question, but they're breaking it down for us. 2/5 of 100, so that's 100 divided by 5, that would be 1/5. And then multiplying by 2 is 2/5. So 100 divided by 5 is 20, times 2 is 40. So if 40 sandwiches sold at $1 each, it's simply 40 times $1, that's $40. The number of sandwiches sold at 3 for $2 is 100 minus, well, how many he sold? 40. So that's 60 sandwiches. So the number of sandwiches, the number of 60 sandwiches, number of sets of 60 sandwiches is 60 divided by 3. That would be 20 sets. So the cost of the 20 sets was $2 a sandwich. So 20 times $2 is $40. So his profit was the 40 he sold for $1, so $40. And then the other $40. And then how much he paid originally, $60. So 40 plus 40 is 80, minus 60 is $20. So his profit is $20. Not a very good profit. Again, that was really complicated, involving that 2/5 in the beginning, but just walking through, following through step by step works in this case. So just when using order of operations, remember, always go parentheses first if there are some, then exponents if you see any, then multiplication or division, whichever comes first from left to right, and then addition or subtraction.